just had my nappination, feeling really ready to go. Norma Jean, how you doing today?
Just been a busy day, doing great. Got things that, I'm working to allow to show itself to me as far as, just things I've been coming into. Other than that, how are you, T?
Awesome. Well,
Good.
napidations, Can't have the world without napidations. Not my world anyway, where I just get to kind of drop
There
out
you
for
go.
a bit. And sometimes I nap and sometimes I meditate. It just depends. So I was pretty gone this time. Norma actually had to wake me up. So, hey guys, thanks to Norma. We're on time. Yeah, and feeling good. Hello, Neil. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Mighty Mouse. Hello, Rettle. Hello, Yo Monroe. He's right there. Katie K, M. Eckenbro, and Missy B. Awesome, Missy. Thanks for all your support. And TL Creel, nice to see you. Today we have an interesting subject for you. We want to talk to you about creating your reality. And so we're going to give everyone a couple minutes to kind of come in and jump in, and then we'll start into it. But definitely, there's lots going on energetically. We've got 12/12 coming up this week, and there's a lot going on in buzzing throughout the truther community and the spiritual community around Beetlejuice. I'll call it Beetlejuice because it's Betelgeuse or something similar. So I believe that this is a good opportunity for a manifestation point, for setting the intention on what you really do want. So we're really going to dive into that today with our conversation. And I also had one question about what was the name of the movie, guys? Post the movie name so everyone can see, just so I can get it right. It's been burning up our chat for the last 24 hours. And let me see if I can grab it before some of you. That everyone's like, oh my gosh, look at that. What is this movie? This movie's full of comms. So leave the world behind. Leave the world behind. And is this a White Hat production? Yes. So you have to remember that seeding the subconscious. So in order for anyone to really, and your subconscious picks up millions of pieces of information every single second, you're not aware of most of it. So when we talk about how we operate in this world, we have our brain, which I liken to the CPU, and then you have your subconscious, which I speak about all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it because I'm seeding your subconscious. Your subconscious from ages 1 till 7 picks up every single little bit of information, and then it runs everything after that against that programming. Your subconscious only knows you, and your subconscious wants to keep you safe. So it's a safety mechanism more than anything else, and it is a tool that can be used to program. You can reprogram your subconscious, and that's what we've been working with you to do, is to start operating differently, because otherwise your subconscious will always kind of be in control. But as you reprogram it by getting out in nature, by changing your food, by having new affirmations and breaking down those old beliefs that you realize aren't serving you and were not actually true anymore. Norma, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's definitely about our intent, our focus, and that definitely all the way comes down to our free will. And in that free will, like I've stated before, the intent that you put into the hands of the free will is where it places the focus. So, thoughts are what they are, and how we, as human beings, it's one of those that's somewhat difficult for some of us. That I know that it was for me for a period of time to understand why the mind just chatters on. And a lot of it was because we get overstimulated. A lot of it's because our focus has been somewhat manipulated through the propaganda or the narratives that were placed before us for so long. And the one thing that I found was, like I've stated before, was reading books, taking myself out of habits that would put more and more on my mind to race and just blabber on. So when I began to just bring myself back and stop watching TV and stop doing things on the internet and just sit in my room. And because I love to read, I was able to sit in my room and read for hours on end. And then I would just get up, go outside, just get some fresh air, sit in nature and allow what it was that I was taking in to just set, so that way I would be able to understand more what the concept was of the information that I was taking in, to understand what I could utilize from that information to be a better person for me. So that way, as my interactions with, other individuals, in this world came to be more and more over time, I was able to actually see them for who they were and what they represented for me at that time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, it's not many people that get that opportunity to actually go ahead and relax and relax into themselves. Most people are too busy on the external because we get trained to got to have a job, got to take care of other people. Everything's kind of external and your focus is completely external. You're looking outside of yourself for everything that you really need to do within. And I think that's what a lot of people are slowly coming into now, is that realization that everything I need is within me. It's not outside of me.
No.
And that can be a little discombobulating. And I'll just say it again that, this is when things kind of go from everything's happening to me to everything is happening for me. And when you can flip that switch and realize that you're creating your reality with every thought, with every word, with every action, and whatever you focus on, where your focus goes, your attention goes, energy flows, and you're manifesting. So when they're doing the subconscious seeding, anybody, right? It is like, it could be marketing. So if you look at a movie and you watch how many times a glass of wine is picked up or a Starbucks coffee is picked up, that is subconscious programming, right? And as marijuana was legalized, there was a lot of subconscious programming around that as well. And so when you become that observer and you really pull your energy back to you and you take your vision and go like this, and how does that make me feel? And you start to pick up on the nuances. And I know a lot of you are getting really good at this. Now pick them up for yourself. Where are those little hints and nudges from your higher self, so to speak, to help you operate in a different and better way? Absolutely. Yes. We're so glad that you're all here. Let's show a photo, shall we? Because sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words. So let me just pull the banner off. Dun, 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 no, 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 no. There we go. And we've got a couple things we just wanted to share with you. One is this photo here. Now, Norma, you go ahead and run through this and give an explanation on this one, please.
So, as we go through this life, we have the two aspects of self first, on more than just one level. So, you've got the human, you've got the spirit, you've got the feminine and the masculine. But you also have to take into consideration so much that has changed since the beginning of time, whenever that was, that we all take in on levels of beliefs. Then you've got God and the devil, you've got good and evil, you've got black and white, you've got et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So as we are taking ourselves and just stepping back, you're either looking at what's taking place or you're asking to see what the truth of everything is. And that's where, whenever I explain that, whenever you sit down and you have a conversation with self and you get to know yourself in those dueling aspects, and as those dueling aspects come together and they get to know one another, that's where you find the 0 point. And in that, where you're loving yourself, then what happens is you take your sight and you go from looking for something and seeing that it was always there. And this is that concept, because this is as above, so below. So this this is concepts that gives us the contrast is what I'm trying to say. This is contrast. But when you take like the retina, the eyeball that you see that is with the human, and you compare it to the picture that's beside it, then you begin to see the levels, okay? And you see that none of it's separate. It's all whole. Then on top of that, you're also seeing that we're also just as much the earth as earth is us. That's where you begin to understand even more on a deeper level that we're not separated from this place. We are this place. We, as a human race, created this place over time. And in that, what I've come to understand about myself is that once I got to know the world within me, I began to understand the world outside of me and understand that I helped create it. Now my goal is to continue to understand my creative process in this by seeing the world that is and making choices and decisions from within and seeing what's within to change what's from without me, and to see this world become what I know it can be because I know me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a saying, the only way out is in. There's a lot of people that want to escape this. The only way, and there's no escaping, you're creating. So you can't escape yourself.
There you go, you take you.
No matter where you are, where you go, there you are, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite sayings because I see a lot of people that try and go away and like, I'm going to go over here and move over here and then things are going to be different. And I come here and I think things are going to be different. I'm like, yeah, and there you are. And
just
so,
different.
Right. Yes. Yes. Which can be empowering. Should you choose? Yep. Absolutely. And allows for more creativity. So a lot of people also talk about wanting to get into 5D. Let's go to 5D. Let's go to 5D. Well, that's a state of consciousness, right? And I want to go back to just for a second to the energetic body. So you have your physical body, around you is an energetic body, and then you have your higher self. Those are the three main ones that we're going to talk about for now. There are more, but those are the ones that are most important to me. And so when I'm using the divining rod, I'm speaking to my higher self, so to speak, right? So I'm not really using intuition anymore. I'm actually just trusting. I'm surrendering, right? And so when I ask you guys to do the body dosing, that is another tool for doing that. And your body will never, ever lie to you. And so that's also a beautiful thing. But you also want to get the mind and the body and the soul all working together in a connected way, along with your higher self, which is your oversoul, so to speak, because all of our soul cannot fit in this body at this time. Our goal is to bring all the pieces with us so we can become who we're truly meant to be and who Jesus has talked about for years. And that's what this whole story is about, this rising of the Christ oil within the body so you can activate your pineal gland and come face to face with God. The whole thing relates to that story. And we'll do that on another show as I dig more into it. We are meant to reset every single month, and we're meant to reset by being able to get that Christ oil to rise in our moon sign. So it's about 2.5 days, and I bridge a couple days more, and you got to really use your intuition because a tropical, I don't believe, is the end all be all. What we want to look is the actual astrology. So if you can figure, not astrology, what'd you say? The Astronomy, thank you. I knew it was wrong. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's about the mapping of the stars.
It's about the mapping of the actual stars. And so if you can figure out where that is, and we're working to help you guys figure that out so you can know. But at that time of the month, when I eat lighter and I spend more time alone and really bring my energy all back into me and don't go out much, I can really feel the shift of that, of just being on, just being completely turned on and activated. Now, You don't want to force these things to happen. I'm not going to recommend that you run out and start doing Kundalini activations or anything else. Your body will know when it's time for you. And
Yeah.
so, but the more time you can anchor into that space and follow the moon cycle, right? And the sun cycle, because those are the cycles that we kind of navigate at this time, to follow the seasonal, the equinoxes and solstice, to follow the monthly new moon and full moons, regardless of what calendar we're following. These are pivotal times for us as humans to feel more connected and to tap in a little bit more in a different way. I hope that makes sense. And please, please, please let me know if you have any questions. And I'm glad visuals help so much. Awesome. We love that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, please don't tell me we're in a giant galactic giant eyeball.
Anything's possible.
Right?
We all create. Anything's
Right?
possible.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so, yes, it does make sense. And yes, Eckenbro, when you're watching some of these things go on, whether or not it's white hats or dark hats, this is still something external that we're attaching to. And so I haven't watched the movie. I haven't watched any movies recently. I haven't been listening to many people. I catch Carrie Kay once in a while. I get the occasional tidbits here and there. I had the Beetlejuice star thing for the 12th thrown in my face the other day a couple of times and had to share that with Norma Jean. So then we came up with some of this stuff for you. So, and then this is the next image we have. Let me see if I can get this one to change up. Let me just share again. So we have a second image here talking more about how we move, how we create that which we desire, right? How we create that which we desire. And this is the big topic for today. And I'm really hoping that I can get you guys to understand that everything you say, do, think, and speak of absolutely is manifesting your reality. And so, if this is true and this is the case, we need to be really selective about what we're going to be looking at. So, Norma Jean, take it away on this one.
Yeah, I sure can. Now, the one thing I want to state is this is information that I am being provided with from someone that I have been following that really understands a lot about
Yes.
symbolism and spiritual and the body and all this, and he's been able to bring all this together, and it's something that just really resonates and clicks with me. And this is just me sharing my understanding of what I received from this information. So as we have dueling aspects, what you see is like when you're looking, you got to understand, like I said, everything's geometry. And when you're looking outside yourself, you change that geometry, because then you are looking at the geometry of manifestation instead of seeing what is reality of the geometry from within, which is totally different, because then it's just a geometry of the cosmos, because we are the cosmos. We are the space that comes in and creates. So as we continue to get to know ourselves, as I continue to get to know myself, I begin to understand that this latent space that you see right here in the center is where you take the dueling aspects, because you got the feminine and the masculine first, because this is more about energy. But as you get to know yourself, the energies begin to, as I said, once you're doing that beautiful dance with one another, because this is a trinity. When you are able to bring all these together and the one is able to see, then that trinity becomes one aspect of the truth of all. Because it takes being able to look at what is to go within to see the truth of what we are looking at, because it begins within. When we're looking at something, then we're seeing that, okay, there's something in this environment that I like or I don't like. that's good or that's bad. So that's where your contrast is coming in, and that's where basically we have to step back and say, okay, this contrast is putting me in the position of duality. However, I'm going to take this duality, I'm going to sit with it, let them talk to one another, so that way the oversoul or the higher self is able to come in and help the two become one with the truth. So it's like a pinpoint. It's like going into a dark room and lighting a candle. And as you focus on that candle, what happens is the third eye's focus begins to produce that geometric shape that broadens the understanding within the mind, because it illuminates the pineal gland. And as you're doing this, then the mind becomes quiet, and then you hear yourself speak to you. And there is a difference. And you know it because you feel it, because you're like, oh, wow, that resonates. That feels honest. That feels genuine. That feels true. So when we begin to understand the two aspects, is only just a contrast of what it is that we're experiencing, whether it's our environment, circumstance, or an experience. And we sit with it, and we just sit with it and let the two do what it needs to do, because it's going to, until over time you begin to understand how in that quiet, just silent space in between the bickering, do you hear the truth? You hear the honesty of what the two do not understand, which quiets them over time to hear that we're all here in this together, because it's all energy. The spirit's energy, the feminine and the masculine is energy first before anything else. And that's where I am getting back to. This is where human beings are ultimately meant to be, is taking the Trinity and allowing that to help us create a better world, a better life for self within, so we may experience from without.
Absolutely. So guys, hit us up with your questions, please, because that was a lot to take in. If I was to reiterate it, it does require getting quiet. You can do, if your mind is too busy and going too much, what I highly recommend is that you do some active meditation. It can be everything from doing the dishes and really paying attention to what you're doing, right? What you're touching, what you're washing. Be very present. Go out for a walk, no earbuds. Take your phone in case something happens, but don't pull it out. Listen to the birds, see the trees, talk to them. I'm out in the woods. I'm singing away, toning my body. That's another thing you can do, is body toning. That's where the Om comes from. And if you were to do the Om 21 times each day, you're starting to tone your body. And as you tone your body, and same thing with doing breathing. If you go to a breathing, or there's one on YouTube I've shared with everyone. I'm happy to do a little list and put it in the Telegram chat, or if you would like it, go ahead and reach out on Adventures for Connection and let us know what else you'd like us to talk about, because we're here for you. And we're trying to come up with the most important things in this time and space to help you to understand, whenever you're giving your energy out to something and you're focused on it, you are helping create it. You are creating that reality. And so this is just a way to show you a couple of drawings. Yes, beautiful. Yes, helping me bringing myself back to me. That's all we want you to do. That's so beautiful. Thank you. That's the whole goal, is for you guys to get to know you. Absolutely. All right, let's take off this screen share for now. And we will try and always have visuals for you, because I know how helpful those visuals can be, as far as, it's seeing, right? And then you hear it a specific way. And you'll find that I will keep saying some of the same things again to make sure that you are not just hearing, but listening, listening with your energy. And so maybe now's a good time, if you guys would with me, just to take a few deep breaths. And we're going to show you that energy again. And we love doing this. I'm not going to do a full meditation right now. Today's not the day, but we're just going to drop in to our higher heart. Because if we all operated from this space instead of this space, suddenly life gets a little more easy. And quite often, if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're angry or you're reacting a lot, in order to shift that energy, it's really important to have some tools so that you can stop. I want to say stop, drop, and roll, but it's not that. It's stop, think, and then speak with that thought pattern behind it. So rethink it through. Is this really what I want to say? Not what is my reaction to this, because your reaction is reactionary and not necessarily what your heart wants to say. And so you may say something hurtful or mean. I can tell you, being a mom when Jade was little, I would put myself in my room for a timeout when I was ready to get really angry. And then, so, no, it's not about you, it's about me. And of course, the kid doesn't get it. She's like, my mom just walked away from me. But it was an opportunity for me to reset myself, take 10 deep breaths, and then reset. So let's just take 10 deep breaths together and just breathe in really deeply. And as you let out that ha, it can release the energy that's not serving you. And we have more hairs, keep breathing, on the bottom of our lungs than we do on the top. So as you do that, you're flooding your body with oxygen. Got a few more. And can you feel you're starting to calm down? Your shoulders are dropping. You're just relaxing more, coming into your body. You're not your head. You're not just your head. You're also your body. You're also your heart. You're also your fingers and your toes. And we have these things on us called chakras, which are like energies within us. And these are like points. So if your body is a meridian system, not unlike Earth's ley lines back and forth, sames. What happens is you have these tools, and it's said that, there's 7 within the body, starting with the root, which is safety and security. And a lot of people reside there. And in order to get out of that, it's almost like you got to solve those trapped emotions within you that are attached to that chakra or come in with that chakra. And a lot of people that are very angry are living from that point. Anger is also very hard on the liver. I just had a friend pass away, and it was from liver issues. And I was like, that does not surprise me. So it's very sad still, but it does not surprise me. So to be highly aware of who you are, how are you reacting? And then we go up to the solar plexus, which is just above kind of where the womb is. And yes, men, you too have an area that's considered the womb, even though the women give that birthing place. And that's a whole nother show in itself too.
That it is.
Yeah, which we'll tap into. And so, and then from there, I say you've got one in your belly button. It's an extra that most people don't know about. It's like your drone chakra that you can send out to look at things. So as you get tapped more in with these energy centers, you will start to see how the planets, your organs, and these energy centers all work together. And that creates part of your experience as well. But it's how you react to things and how aware you are of these things that can really enhance or, dehance your life, so to speak, right? It's either going to lift you up or it's going to pull you down. And then we go from there to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is really quite beautiful because your heart is not a pump. Your heart is a vortex. And this beautiful vortex that is moving energy for you. And this is more about, think about massaging something, right? That's more how the heart works. It's like a massage and a vortex. And then your veins are the same. It's the muscles they're not just pumping blood through it. It's the way that the muscles. So you've got all this nervous system. You've got so much going on for you that it's incredible when you start to really understand how your body works And you can go, oh, why is my heart beating fast right now? What am I reacting to? Take a few deep breaths. Is there something I need to be aware of? And now some of these upgrades are causing heart palpitations. So, but let's continue. And as we go from the heart, we go to the throat. And in between, there's something called your higher heart. But these are the important ones. Your throat is your truth, your voice. A lot of people, and I know many of us that are speaking at this time about how to come back to you, possibly some spiritual advisors, right? And my goal is always to ask you, where are you at? How are you doing? And give you tools so you can do it yourself. I never want to be that person that is put on a little pedestal. We're all equal. We're all at different levels of going through this process together. And I'm constantly learning. Norma's constantly learning. And so I know I had my throat chakra locked up for some time until I knew it was safe, because I'm in murdered in other timelines from speaking my truth. So I'm just about corrected this thing in my neck, which an acupressurist has been working on with me. She's like, it's moved up. That's really good. So, it's all something that I thought, I can't get rid of that. It's just part of it. Go to the chiro, it's always coming back. But now I'm able to energetically focus on it and get it to shift, because I'm also feeling more confident in myself and safer, and I can speak my truth more. And I will only take truth in for me. And so whenever I see a post, I'm like, I don't get that that's true. So be careful what you're watching and believing, because we don't always know what's fact and true unless it's true for us, and everybody's truth is a little bit different. Then we go up to our third eye chakra, and that is your pineal. A lot of people are feeling tingling here, maybe a slight headache, a little bit of achiness. That's your pineal decalcifying. And you close your eyes, and sometimes you have little visions, or you can see colors. That is part of this process of your inner eye coming online, which is quite beautiful. And then we have things like, telepathic abilities coming in. Sometimes I don't need to say anything. I already know what's going on over there. Or you think about a friend and then they call. And Eckenborough wants to know why it's calcified. Let me finish off at the top. And then you have your crown chakra. So we have this neurons that wrap around like a crown of thorns around on the inside of our head. And that is like your antenna, right? So you're connecting. And you have a star chakra, which is above, but these are the main ones. And so if you're seeing purple, you're seeing your third eye. So that's a good thing. Sometimes purple is also related to the seventh dimension, but that's a whole nother topic too. But that's a good thing. Keep seeing purple. That's great. And then, so you're like an antenna tuning in. The more you can keep this in alignment and tune in and get quiet, the more likely you're going to hear voices, or, you've got all these abilities, and some are just a knowing. Some are audible, you can hear them. Some are visual, you can see them. What are the other ones again? Help me out, guys. Clairaudience, clairsentience. There's like 5.
Clairvoyant, clairaudient, claircept,
That's right.
sentient, clair.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. So there you have, they're called clairs, right? And so everybody's got usually a couple that come online, or one that comes online. Knowing is one of the better ones, in my opinion, because then I don't have to guess about any of it. I literally will just douse for things, or I will just know in my being. And some people have a knowing, like maybe their heart picks up, or maybe they get tingling on their arm and shoulder. People just goosebumps, right? You just know when something's true. And so the more you follow that and you utilize those tools, the stronger you're going to come into this understanding and knowing, and be able to operate in the world a little bit differently and get to know you even more, which is quite beautiful. Okay, let's talk about why is the pineal calcified? Go ahead, Norma. Lead this one away.
There's many reasons why the pineal is calcified. Whether it be that it's because they were putting fluoride in the water, fluoride in the toothpaste. But you got to understand as well, this goes back in time. This is also due to our history, that when you stop exercising something, what happens? It becomes weak. It becomes it loses its ability to function in the way that it was meant to function. That's like muscles. Or if we don't get out and we don't exercise the body, then our muscles atrophy. If we don't get out in nature and have a connection, then we forget we forget how to be connected. It's all about understanding that when we look at ourselves and we ask ourselves these questions, okay, I have these abilities, what is it going to take for me to strengthen them? I have to put in the focus. I have to have the intent to create the free will, to put into the focus the things that I must understand and learn as far back as I can, because I want to get to the original, the origin, the originality of the human being. And this does take a little bit of time. So when we understand that, even with the pineal gland, even if you start by just waking up and saying, if there's a calcification on my pineal, then I always have this thought, my pineal gland is clearing, my pineal gland is becoming stronger, my pineal gland is working and beginning to function the way that it used to, and it's going to be even better. It's about the thought, because you have to speak to the body, because the body has to be present with what you are mastering to clear, whether it be the pineal gland, whether it be your vision, whether it be to hear more, whether it be to have the voice. It's all a trinity: the body, mind, spirit.
Absolutely. So fluoride, chlorine, chemicals in the food, chemicals. There's many things. It's been targeted so that we wouldn't, right? And now we have this beautiful opportunity. And what I wanted to say, Cheryl was saying that she's been waking up in the morning and her energy's coming back into her body so quickly, she's actually throwing up. So try and don't open your eyes right away if you can. Can you slow down that wake up process? And before you go to bed, I always feel great when I wake up. What are you getting, Norma?
No, there's a few things that I can speak to.
Yeah.
Take sway into accountability. Definitely the foods that you're taking in and you're eating. If you're eating late at night and you are traveling between the hours of 3:30 and 4:30, and you're coming back in real fast, yeah, the body's not going to be prepared for that, especially if you eat a little late. Definitely, what you need to do is you need to do the breath work, because prana is what centers the body. It prepares the body for its release and receiving. Let's see. Also at night, before you go to bed, clear your room. Use sage and what's the other one?
Palo Santo.
Palo Santo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Clear your room. Do breath work before you go to sleep. Talk to your body. Explain to it what's taking place and what you're experiencing when you come back. Because right now, there's just a lot of different things going on for a lot of different people as to what you're experiencing with yourself, and much less, what may be going on out here that is also affecting what's taking place. So just always be aware of self. Always talk to self. Make sure your diet's good. You're not eating too late. Plenty of water. Definitely breath work. There is definitely a lot that you can, do for self in order to always be better prepared for what is taking place.
Yeah. So when you do breath work, that is the prana, that is the life force in your cells. And whenever you're feeling discombobulated, maybe a little more tired, I will always go to a specific breath work just on YouTube. And it's not hardcore. I don't like to recommend the hardcore ones because your hands can cramp up. And if somebody's not with you, then you're gonna kick yourself out of it because your mind's gonna take over. but this one's really gentle, but I keep breathing when he says, hold your breath. I just keep breathing through it. And you can feel your whole body start to vibrate. It's like, it's amazing. It's amazing. There are a lot of things online too about doing different meditations that you can get your prana breathing. I know there's definitely some Hindu ones where you breathe through one nostril and then the other, and there's a whole process you go through. I like the simple lie down and breathe. I like to keep it really simple. So I'm not trying to remember something as I'm breathing, because then I'm not very present. I'm too busy trying to remember what I'm supposed to be doing versus just doing what I'm doing. So that for me is important. Here's another question. And so, let's just tap into the toothpaste thing. I made toothpaste today. Coconut melted, and you can do 2 to 3 tablespoons. And then you're going to add in bentonite clay. And I would say a teaspoon approximately, right? It's personal, right? And then I add some baking soda, probably about a teaspoon and a half, maybe 2. And then I added in activated charcoal. So it's very black. And then you take it off the heat and let it cool off. And then did you use it?
No, you had a thumbs up just show up beside you.
Oh, awesome. Good. I have no idea where these are coming from. There's something about that. Yeah. Yes, I will sing that song for you. And, and Tango just came back from what was it now? It was a he says spinal tap. And I'm like, I don't think you're going to a spinal tap. Spinal flow treatment. So very curious to hear more about that. The more focus you put on your body and loving your body and getting Reiki or quantum and getting to understand more, or taking Reiki, I'm telling you, it's a great way to start getting to know energy. And you can also just rub your hands together, and you can feel the energy. You can put your hands up and say, activate me, please. And so then in speaking about the pineal gland and asking for what you want, you can heal your teeth, talk to your teeth, right? Everything is connected and you are in control. And if you're intermittent fasting, it's going to happen even quicker. The more you can give your body the space it needs to do what it needs to do to repair, the faster that's going to happen. Absolutely. Have a leaky valve in the heart. What would your suggestion be for repairing this? The question is, who's telling you have a leaky valve in your heart? Can you feel it? That would be my first question. But you can certainly put attention towards it and love your heart. Thank you, heart. I know you can repair anything that's going, that's not balanced within. I would like it healed, please. And Joe Dispenza has a lot of good information on this. Cayenne pepper. There you go. We're getting lots of people. Yeah, cayenne pepper would be good because it's going to get things moving and activated a bit more. Absolutely. Yeah.
And also, it's not just you're working with just the heart of the manifestation. You're also working with the vortex. You gotta seal the hole in the vortex.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect. And we got other comments over on Rumble. Yeah, stay away from fluoride. It's not your friend. Right? And that the baking soda, like your teeth can be healed. You can heal your gums. Don't go get a gum graft or anything like that. There's ways of fixing it. Absolutely.
Yes, be gentle with brushing your teeth. If you got like receding gum lines, be gentle. Brush with the toothpaste that Tanya just suggested, because you're getting those natural minerals and just the good stuff back in and around the gum, in the teeth, and the tongue. Mouth, oral health is very, very vitally important. Also, if you are flossing, be gentle. Don't be cutting all up in your teeth and stuff. Be gentle. Just get whatever you need out. So, also, if you can actually have a water pick, it's a little better. Just don't have it on high. So, oral health is very, very important, because your teeth are attached, or actually are connected to the parts of your body. So yes, so much that as far as Reti's concerned, because I'm still working on mine. I do oil pulling, and I also use the toothpaste that Tanya has fixed up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, cat lover, I'm just going to speak to this in a random way. So many people are passing at the moment because the new energy is coming in. Their bodies can no longer energetically handle it. So I would be very cautious about blaming something because that's not always the case. It is a tipping point. It is a push point for people. And so I just really want to make that clear. And remember, the whole point of this is getting to observe whatever's in your reality, but not engage. Observe, don't absorb. Observe, don't react. Hold your energy, because no matter what's, you don't know for fact all the truth of anything at this moment until you do. Yes, and oil pulling is good. But it's really important to understand this. The more energy something gets, the more it's going to grow. So you see this happening right now out there. And so I'm very, very, very selective. And plus, we don't know anything for fact. There's a lot of assumptions going on. There's a lot of people that have done their duty or done their mission here on earth, and it's their time to go because their bodies are not set up energetically to handle what's coming next. And that's okay, because they've come back to unconditional love. That's not so bad in my opinion. If they were suffering every day and struggling, and thank you for writing out the toothpaste, then isn't it beautiful that they get to go back to unconditional love? And we will get to communicate with loved ones. We will, and this is part of our soul path and soul growth. So just making sure we're not attaching to anything too much, because then now where your attention goes, energy flows, and now you're setting yourself off on a path. Pull that energy back, even if you have to say it out loud. I call all my energy back to me through all time, dimension, and space. I call all my energy back to me through all time, dimension, and space. I call all my energy back to me through all time, dimension, and space. So be it and so it is. So be it and so it is. So be it and so it is. Because we are, every time you decide, oh, I'm going to go do this, and then you don't do it, you've set a little timeline that's quite weak, but you've given some energy to it. And so this is why at this point in time, and December to me is a beautiful month for this, to really figure out what you do want. We got a manifestation point coming up here on the 12th, and I don't generally attach to many of these. We've talked about it. It's every day's manifestation day. But this particular day, there's enough going on energetically, it'll give it an extra boost. And it doesn't hurt to get in the habit of every morning running energy through your body. Imagine white light, imagine golden light before you get out of bed. Thank you, body. Thank you for a beautiful night's rest. How are we doing today? Let's check in and just run white light. Hey, cells, it's time to get up. We're going to activate. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell is healthy and well. There you go, Tango. He's asking. As soon as I got to the cells, I'm like, oh, it's got to be now. So as we go through our bodies and we thank our heart for beating and we thank our ears for hearing and our eyes, there's so much we can do to have that gratitude. And before bed, thank you, body, for the day, and run light through your body. Send your body love. Wiggle your toes. Feel your body before you get up. Just don't bounce out of bed and hit the shower and then off to work. Give yourself some time to be in the morning. Maybe don't grab the phone right away. Maybe take a few minutes for you. Ask any questions you might have, or did I dream last night? Do I remember any dreams? Is there an important message that came in? So that you too can start to get to know you better. Because sometimes you don't know about what happened, but if you write it down, a couple days later you might go, oh, that's what that was about. Because you're becoming this really big observer of what's coming into your reality, and then therefore you can use it a little bit better. Right? Do you want to add to that, Norma?
Yeah, of course. Just like you said, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So, and to touch a little more on, that focus, that intention. It's intention and there's attention. So the one thing that I came to understand about understanding the difference between, what's my reality and what's the illusion is right here, right now, as I sit with you, my reality is I'm sitting at a kitchen table. I am on a live show. You are upstairs. Other than having a window here that I can look out, this is as far as my reality is concerned. This is my reality here in this moment. Now, if I see something and it's something that is coming across or in my field, okay, it's grabbed my attention. Is it something that I want to give my energy to? And if it's something that has to do with that helps me understand myself and help me grow within myself, then I will take my attention, set intention to that focus to get more information. Or is it something that's on the TV screen that I just happen to see and I'm like, okay, but my reality tells me this is not happening. It's on a box. It's not happening in my reality. Doesn't mean that it's not happening at all. No, it's just in my reality. It does not exist. Which means if it doesn't exist in my reality, I give it no attention, which means I give it no focus, which means my intent is to save my energy. So that's how I came to understand reality and illusion.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that it's not happening, because you have enough people that give it attention, then it's happening. Doesn't mean that it exists. No. Doesn't mean that it's true. No. It just means it's a focus of the attention of enough energy to give it to where it can become truth.
Beautiful. Absolutely. That was really well put. Yeah. Any other questions, you guys? Throw them in there. We've got a few minutes left before we wrap up. And Sorensen is asking, I was wondering if you also use I think you mean CBD oil in any shape. Yeah, I don't know about CBC. That's like a Canadian broadcasting, and I don't watch it. But you can use it. What I recommend is you buy it from somebody that is a well-known for doing it in a nice way. Like I wouldn't go to the government store and buy it because I don't know how that was prepared. I don't trust it. But if I was to go onto Etsy or maybe even eBay and try and find somebody that was a smaller producer that I knew it was good. Like, for example, there's a rose spray that I really like. I buy it locally. I support a little local store. So I try and do things more local and smaller as much as I can. And of course, that's not always possible. But yeah, absolutely. And so, yes, CBD oil can be a good thing. And as long as it comes from a good producer. And that's beautifully said, Norma. You're getting lots of cheers over there. Yeah. Yeah, do castor oil. So somebody says, my heels have been so sore. Thinking of doing castor oil on them tonight. Yes. Quite often, you know what's really good? The best time, and I'm finding this through practice, to not wreck clothes, is castor oil after a warm bath or a warm shower, because then as your pores are all open, it'll suck it up. You can also put it on your feet and then put on socks. And so it's on there a bit more. A lot of people use pads with castor oil. They want an organic first cold press or cold pressed. I don't know if the first is so important. That's usually with olive oil, but that would be great. All right, perfect. Just a second. Castor oil. Sorry, go ahead, Norma.
I just forgot what I said.
That's okay.
Epsom salt.
Oh,
Epsom salt.
Yes. Magnesium flakes are my favorite because they've got the magnesium in there, and your skin is your largest organ. A lot of people don't realize this, so be very careful what you're willing to put on your skin. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, go ahead and get them. And a lot of people are ordering castor oil from Amazon if it's easiest. You could look for a health food store near you that might have it, or some other local stores that might have it. But I do recommend it's important. I've got some that's in a glass jar, and I've got another one. They both seem to be as effective. You can also rub it on your eyes, in your eyes. It'll help heal your eyes. Put it behind your ears to help your ears. And oil pulling is another thing that's good for your teeth. And somebody's asking about cavities. That toothpaste is to help regenerate the teeth. And also taking in things like the diatomaceous earth. I keep hearing that's so good. And so I do a little combo of that, generally with food grade hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, diatomaceous earth, and I just mix it up and I shoot it because it's not something that I enjoy sipping, but it gets more oxygen in your blood as well. Yeah. So if magnesium is upsetting your stomach, you can get magnesium oil, and you can take the magnesium flakes as well. And not all magnesiums are equal. There's many types. So I douse anything I buy. So yeah. And follow Barbara O'Neill. That's right, Anne. Thank you for that. Yeah. Barbara O'Neill's got it all over YouTube. She's a TikTok. She isn't even on TikTok. She's famous on TikTok. Everyone like puts her videos up. So you got to talk about going viral without going viral. She didn't have to do anything. It just happened. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, Eddie, that's a whole nother show. That's exactly the model that they try to copy in artificial intelligence. Yeah, but they can't touch that. So, you know, AI can be very beneficial to us. What is important that we have antenna hair. What is important is that you can use AI for good. It's what you don't want is to become transhumanism. So where you're so plugged in that you're wearing Bluetooth earbuds, right? In your ears all the time, that you're attached to a computer and gaming all the time, that you're not out in nature. So you become, and you go from work to go home and gaming. I'm quite concerned just because I see a lot of these teens that are disconnecting because they don't like the reality. Well, they're plugging into a new reality, but it's an artificial reality. And so this is how transhumanism comes along. So yeah. Yeah. And so it's a choice point. I can't say it's right or wrong because it's not for me to say for that soul, but I can tell you it's a choice point going on at the moment. Yeah, absolutely.
The two worlds.
Dee Boonier is, I have severe insomnia. It seems like I've tried everything, but nothing is working. I hate resorting to big pharma, but I'm desperate. Okay. So that's a big one. And what I would say absolutely is to nurture yourself at night. Just by making that statement, do you hear what you're saying? I have severe insomnia. Cancel. That's not me. But you're speaking it. And then you're trying to fix it. So you're acting as if it can't be fixed because you're constantly trying to fix it. So you're in this loop right now. And so it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be kind of back to basics, right? Get some breath, get a little exercise during the day. Don't eat too late. Eat healthier, cut out some sugars. You might want to try cutting out wheat and dairy for a bit just to see if it helps, because those hormones and some of that can trigger you a bit. And I would say no TV, no phone, and read a book before bed. So you start to relax the body and relax the brain so that you're giving it an opportunity to go, right? Get rid of that blue light. Have a bath if you can. I just find that, you know, I've been in that spot. I've had that issue, and I went through melatonin and it was like, as soon as my system runs through something, it's like, boom, I'm awake. It's like, yeah, all that was like a little crutch. And then, right? So it's a matter of, and absolutely the magnesium salts for the bath, the magnesium flakes, they're called magnesium flakes, are very, very good. And there's a particular type of magnesium that I would put it in your hand and douse. Go to the store and say, I need a magnesium for sleep. Which one is the best one? put it in your hand, close your eyes, and your body will say yes or no, or whatever your reaction is for that. So I hope that helps. Yeah, we're a lot of people. And I know valerian root. I know I've taken valerian root. Again, as soon as it wears through my system, because I metabolize really quickly, boom. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny, before Norm and I knew each other, we both had this hair.
Yeah, mine's been this way since I was 17.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's had it longer than I, because when I was 17, I probably had a lion's mane of hair. My hair's big. Right? Oh, black seed oil really helped. Magnesium spray. I love how you guys all come. Yes, magnesium glyphosate. That's right. Teaspoon of raw honey. There's lots and lots of tips in here. So as natural as possible for this stuff is great. Wow, that went by really fast. Absolutely. You guys, what we really wish for you is that you take the time to get to know who you are. What makes you tick? And we like to make these lists of likes and dislikes. Oh, I don't like that, or that person's bad. But at the end of the day, if we're all souls having this human experience and we're all connected, whenever you are throwing negative energy towards something, it's like you're throwing it at yourself. And that's a big one to take in. It's a big one to play with, but it'll be the biggest shift for you, because you go from, really, it's like observing even further back. And if they're just doing their thing, and that's their right, I can't control them. So I'm not going to give any attention to that. That's just not in my reality. So as painful as it can be to start letting go of these things, this is the mission, is to start letting go so you can be a beacon of light to then help others. That is everyone's mission. Whatever has been your biggest obstacle in life can become your greatest gift. And therefore, then it wasn't so bad, was it? It's been the biggest gift you could have. Yeah. So there's my little 2 bits for the end of the show. Norma, go ahead.
Yeah, and I agree, Tanya. It begins with us, period. Point blank. No further, because we are the creative beings. We are the reason why we are here. We are the reason why. Now, somewhere along the line, in time, we lost a little bit of our way, and it's okay, because in order for us to know what we don't like, we have to see what it is in this contrast, this place of contrast, and say, okay, I've had that experience. I know how it felt, because I know how it felt, and I know what it showed me. I would never want to do that to another person, place, thing, which means I will never create something like that in my reality, for I would never want someone to feel that way, for I knew how it made me feel.
Yeah.
Period. So always be kind with yourself, because when you're kind with yourself first, you will always be kind to others.
Absolutely.
Always look at self and say, I've had these experiences. I know how it made me feel. I know that I deserved better. So knowing that for myself first, I will never do it to another, for I knew how it felt, and I would never do it to them.
Yeah. So if you can always put yourself in somebody else's shoes, how would I feel if this was done to me? And you might shift pretty quickly. So these are the tools we're trying to give you. And somebody's asking about the body dosing. There's videos on YouTube that you can do. You can use rods. Yeah. Yeah. Go check out, rod dosing on YouTube. And then I talk a lot about body dosing. So body dosing is just I'll do it quickly because I got a few minutes. Getting really still and standing up is best, but you're not going to see me if I stand up. And just anchoring your feet into the floor as if you're a tree, and just be super strong in there. And then shoulders down, back, take a couple deep breaths, and you can hold something in your hand like food or vitamins, right? And say, is this good for me? and I can feel my whole body pulling forward. It's a crystal. And when something's not good for me, my whole body pulls back. Now that's my way. So you want to ask, can you show me a yes, please first? And then can you show me a no, please? And then play with it and say, my name is, and say your name, and then use a different name and see if that shifts it. So, and definitely there's more on YouTube. There's some stuff on TikTok. You want to find us. There's a presenters underneath the video. There should be a presenters link to show you where you can find us. So at the FCB Collective, and you go into the link tree, and then you go to presenters, and we're all in there. And that's where you can find us. I do weekly healings. I do coaching with people, or guiding. We like to call it guiding because I'm really just teaching you how to help yourself. And thank you, Eddie. Appreciate that. It's under the link tree there. So it's put in the chat. Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. And then that way, you can watch the videos. We do this one. We'll be on Soul Tribe next week. Monday, Monday is Unique. Tuesday's High Vibes with FCB and myself. And we have a Shala on this week. Super exciting. Tarot reader.
Ooh.
And then we go to Wednesday. Wednesday is Resonance. And of course, the Drive. I can't keep track of when FCB is dumping his stuff in now. So I can't keep track. I can't even keep track of our own schedule. And Thursdays is Unique. And then Fridays, I believe it's the boys are back on again with their show. And then Saturdays will be Soul Tribe. And so we'll be on for that next week. And yeah, we're just really excited to support you guys because this is our mission. It's to support everyone in becoming the best versions of themselves. The sooner this collective shift, and the more people that shift, the more people that consciously become more 5-dimensional. Because if we all go to 5D, you guys, you don't have a body. So it's not happening. What it is, it's this balance between. It's being able to take that 5D consciousness and then operate here. Okay. And with that note, I'm going to send you guys lots of love. Have a wonderful night. And I really, really, really look forward to seeing you again, and enjoy FCB. I think he's on next. Woohoo! Woohoo!